the path and trails clearing and pruning. Go ahead, Diane.
Well, it's very, very hard to get anybody to even give me an appraisal on them because they're either too small or they're not interested. The big
Okay.
companies aren't interested in just getting them out here to even get an appraisal. Yesterday at 7 o'clock in the morning, I was out there with one guy. And the other guy didn't even show up after 2 or 3 calls of coming out here and me waiting and waiting on him.
Your lawn service doesn't do the trails
Yeah,
anymore?
I
Well,
did,
that's
but
the
I
only
want to
one
get
that did.
extra ones.
Our lawn service.
But anyway, one guy did come back yesterday afternoon, and give me an estimate of cleaning the trail behind Food Line and then the trail from, Glenda's Way all the way around to where the footbridge is, around that way. The other trail that's, got blacktop on it, there's nothing around it, there's no encroachment of weeds or anything on it, so it's fine.
Okay.
Harfield gave me an estimate of $450 for doing that.
I'm sorry,
That'll-
that was my mistake.
And, Professional Grounds, our company, he gave us an estimate of $375.
okay.
And then I talked to another guy yesterday, well, a couple of times ago, and then yesterday I called him again because he's never sent me an estimate.
Okay.
And I left word today that I needed it today, and I still don't have it.
Okay, do you remember?
However, it wasn't to do the trails.
Okay, do you remember the name of the company? Just offhand, so I can write it down.
Chris? No, I don't.
Okay, all right.
In fact, our guy told me about him.
Okay.
He uses him. He doesn't do trails. He doesn't do that. And these guys don't do the footbridge. They don't do pressure washing or sealing. So it's 2 different items I had to go after. So this other guy was on the footbridge part of it.
Okay,
He did come out and he checked it and he came back and he told me that the railing is loose, that one of the bolts has come out, and that it was dangerous, and that I was gonna make a suggestion that night that we close it off on both ends until we can get it repaired. He said what it needs to be done, what they did when they built it, he said, all of it has through bolts, which is good, but 4 posts have just, bolts where they are, what do you call them, where they lagged, yeah, and they're all about like that, and that's the reason they pulled out. And he said maybe because they've hit, wood under, they couldn't go through, but still, he said he could repair it, but he would use 10-inch ones that would, get all the way in there good. And then he suggested using, it's not a sealant, it's a sealant, but yet it's a solid colored sealant that would last for years and years instead of what we've got where it just washes off over a period of time. He also told me that we might want to think about putting some anti-trip in the sealant, which would, anti-skid, I'm sorry,
okay.
because he said it can, when it gets wet, with got mold and stuff on there, or leaves that come off the tree, somebody could slip and fall. He said it happened over at Lee's Hill. Somebody slipped and fell on their bridge, and they've sued them.
Okay.
So, I thought we might want to, somebody close it off on each end, rope it off, and say bridge closed at this time, till we can get it repaired. And, but like I say, I don't have an estimate from him, and he's the only one that I know would even come out and look at the footbridge.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, that will come out, individuals, but they're not licensed and bonded. They're not a company, and
Right.
they're just, we
Right.
can't use them.
Exactly, and
It's just a
very-
small job, and big companies, not
Right.
even
And
interested.
it's a fantastic effort that you have
Yes.
given, and it's, they're not willing to show up or provide an estimate, then they won't even be considered. So you've done your part, very much appreciated. Don, did you have a comment?
Yeah, so we got 2 bids for the trimming, and then I think we kinda got off on another tangent, which is the footbridge and repair of the footbridge, which is a different thing.
Right.
So on the trimming, FSR went round and round with me. I was over there for a day with them, and they said that there must be 3 bids, that there has to be 3 bids.
Well,
So we,
we'll just have to
so
keep
hang
trying.
on. So This other stuff, there are hundreds of handyman businesses around that specialize in repairing the one bolt, the small seal. We have the pylons that need to be painted, we have signs that are crooked, we have the chain link fence that's leaning in several spots. My suggestion would be is that we lump all those taskers together into a job that is big enough, including the path. And I mean, I'm happy to go out and walk around with you all or get on an ATV and walk through, but lump all these things that need to be done. I mean, we have signs in our streets that are leaning at 70 degrees.
How come
And
those
so-
are called 911 signs though, and the county fixes those?
But we can fix them too. I mean, for $20 or whatever, if we want to, we can go to, but my point is a handyman service will do these other things. And a handyman service will come out and give you $100 to clean that, and $100 for fixing the bolts or what have you. And there's a dozen of them in Fredericksburg. So I think if we split them,
Mr.
and we-
Handyman is a good one.
yeah, and I think if we split them and lump the groups appropriately, we can get the bid for the trail cleaning, and then the bid for all of the miscellaneous stuff, things that need to be painted and peeled. You know those bars on the sidewalks on the trails, keep the bikes from coming through, they're all peeling and those are our responsibilities, including the bridge. So I would suggest we bundle it that way.
Well, whoever talks to these people needs to make sure they were licensed and bonded and can
Absolutely.
give us
Of
a
course.
W-9.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right, so, with both Diane and Don's information here, we still need to get one more quote for the trail. And,
Even if he sends you an email and says, I'm not gonna bid on it, that's good enough. That he came out and you met with him and just print the email, that's a third bid.
Yes, that
A
would be
bid is a
perfectly
no
fine.
bid, but it has to be on,
Something,
traceable to him, yes.
yeah, because, I mean, you spent the time to do that, at least if he can do that, then that would help alleviate.
Now, you talking about the footbridge? Because he's the only one that hasn't
we're talking
responded.
about.
I'm talking about the trail.
We need another one for the
I mean, the
trail.
trail, yeah. I don't have another one for the trail.
Okay.
I have someone that I can give you a name and a number for that might be interested.
Okay.
Does small jobs.
That would be,
That sounds great.
Are they bonded and insured?
I believe they are.
And most of these handymen are also
Yeah.
bonded and insured. And some of these handymen will do pruning,
yeah,
so.
okay. Thank you, Diane.
All right, so-
I already have an account with FSR. I do work for FSR as it is. So, I can put a bid in if you like.
Yeah, your license and bond. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Need a secretary.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just parking it. I mean, we're parking it with accidents, with taskers out for,
I would like to make one motion though, comment first. I like what Diane had to say though, if we need to put something up around that, bridge,
yeah.
I think again, leaves are falling, it's getting wet. I would make a motion that we put something up to block it at this point in time to prevent people from going over it, because it's a very valid point.
I
People-
think we just put a rope across it with a sign on it that says closed.
I mean, I could probably get some caution tape.
Yeah, can we just put a caution on? I don't know, does it need to be closed? I mean, is it so
As
dangerous?
long as you have caution there and there's.
Then it's on them.
It's
If
signed
they-
and the liability's there, but it has to be clear.
I think we just,
Signed.
I can get some caution tape, if the board is okay with that, I will put some caution tape across both ends to keep people from going across the bridge.
Right, so,
I mean, there may be people that are inconvenienced by that, I don't know.
I agree.
I don't think that we should block it, I think we should just put a caution, a sign that says caution slippery or something like that, If it's just a bolt, I don't,
You know what I can do?
It's not
I
one,
can-
he said it was all four of them.
Well, I can wrap caution tape around those
A post.
individual posts that are affected, and that should.
I'll go out
give-
with you and look at it,
Yeah.
and we can mark it.
Because it's a very valid point.
I think that we mark it, I
Okay.
think if we mark it,
I can get the caution tape, that's not a problem.
I've got it already,
Okay, even better.
you don't even have to get it, yeah,
Excellent.
I've got a roll.
so the note I'm making is Eric and Don to, mark footbridge with caution tape.
Yep.
All right.
I think kids use that the most, but.
Yeah,
There are a couple other people
They get on
in
there and
it.
play on it and push
Mhm.
on it, I'm afraid they'll hurt themselves.
So that takes care of the path, trails, and pruning, correct?
Correct.
All right. final new business. Information regarding the collection agency.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir? You want this one? Diane?
Oh, This is Diane, my copy.
Oh, yeah.
Swap that instead, is this one okay?
Okay, go ahead, Diane. Tell us then what you found.
Well, came across this, looking at other collections agencies in the past, they all want to charge a River Club up front for any work they do, and it gets very expensive, and we just don't have the money to pay them, and that's one reason we haven't used one. But there's one that I located downtown, they're local, which is good. They sent us a copy of everything, of what they do, and I went back and called her and wanted to go over the whole contract with her, which is printed on the very back page of all listed 1, 2, 3, 4, through 14, what all the things that she has said. They don't charge us anything. It won't cost us a penny. If accounts turned over to them for collection, they add 25% onto the whatever's turned over to the debtor. When they collect it from them, they give them 30 days to pay it. And then they go by our guidelines. If we ask them to call them, you know, for collections, send them letters, how many calls we want them to make, or no calls, or if we want to them to make arrangements for payment, or no arrangements, it's up to us, which is very unusual also. That,
This is collection for what?
for people that don't pay
SOAs.
their membership, their dues, and we've got several thousands of dollars sitting out
Yeah,
there
don't worry about that.
that need to be collected.
Um,
And then, if it's not paid, then they will, if we want them to, take it to court for suit. And then they have an in-house attorney, and he too, doesn't charge us anything. He adds it on to their bill, which they have to pay. Plus the fact, anytime we want the accounts back, we can get them back without having to pay them anything. Most other collection agencies now, you give them an account and they add all these fees up front on them. And then if we want the accounts back, we have to pay the fees in order to get the accounts back. So that was another deterrent, you know, as far as turning things over to another agency. But anyway,
We
I
can't
asked
be
them if
canceled
they-
after 60 days,
Right,
so it's not unlimited. It says that you can cancel it up to 60 days, but if they've invested more than 60 days of effort into it, then it's fire and forget. They take charge after 60 days.
no, where are you reading that, Don?
Right here, number 8. The parties agree that no account may be canceled by the creditor, that's us, within 60 days after placement.
Okay, they want 60 days to try to collect it.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not sure, no account may be canceled by the creditor within 60 days after.
So Diane said that we could take an account back from them.
Right.
And my point is that it says explicitly that we can't cancel the account, which is taken away from them after 60 days. After 60 days it's with them, they've said they've invested so much time and effort that it can't come back to us. So you're trying to give some background without naming names. There are certain people who have fought us extensively recently
Right.
over collection fees, those types of things. In that instance where it's been more than 60 days, or, you know, the collection company goes more than 60 days, we have no control over that anymore.
Right, it's up to the collection agency.
The collection agency does it, and their 25% is tacked on top. So, you know, imagine whoever gets that is 25% more angry. Right? 25% more likely to
Right.
litigate, 25% more likely to say, you've overstepped your bounds. I don't know, whatever, but you understand my point.
well,
The issue with collection in the past, I'm just commenting, I'm not, you know, to make sure we're clear, because she said something that I thought was inaccurate, so I wanted to amend it.
I guess I'm reading it a little
But
bit different. It
can I
says the
finish?
parties agree
Hold
that
on,
no.
let him finish.
Oh, I thought you was through.
So, the issue with collection companies as they collect what they want and they bill what they want,
Okay.
is that you've lost control. They really don't invest heavily until 60 days, when they know that they have the account, and then they run. And they do anything they want to these people, and they're gone. It's the pit bull out the fence.
Okay,
You remember, you know what I'm saying?
understood.
So it's,
The bottom line, do they get the job done?
maybe.
Okay, good.
But the question is do they create more problems than we have? So if we do this to collect an extra $200, $300, $400, $500, and we get one litigation that runs us to $5,000, was that a shrewd and wise decision?
We don't pay
Yes.
that though.
Yeah,
No.
I see what you're saying,
Given the emails that have gone back,
Right.
I'm trying to give you a person who is angry,
understood.
that is just going to do whatever it takes, right? We've had experience with this at the board.